If he starts throwing punches, one of two things will happen. Either the referee stops him or he knocks you out. Pryor is one of the best finishes in boxing I've ever seen, and once he really gets you hurt, I'm not enjoying this at all. Nobody reacted to being punched in the face more positively than Aaron Pryor, who grew up in a violent household with both his mother and sister being convicted felons. He was taken in by a family friend who happened to reside close to a boxing facility. One day, out of curiosity, the young man enters, gave and received his first hit for amusement, leaving a violently dysfunctional home in his wake. Aaron had a pattern of thrill-seeking behavior, such as breaking into the bullpens at the Cincinnati slaughterhouses and attempting to ride bulls together. Aaron took amateur fights like a user gets a bull, escaping for 3 minutes at a time. By the time he was 21, Aaron had fought 220 amateur fights. His most memorable battle was with Olympic champion-to-be Thomas Hearns, and he feels that finishing the 4 rounds is preferable than any other stretch. Each professional match you can imagine, while his suicidal style wasn't the best fit to make an Olympic team, Aaron knew he could go pro and make a name for himself. In every fight, every round, Aaron Pryor ran at his opponents. The majority of them simply collapsed under the intensity of him. As for technique, Aaron was something else. He could do anything, jab and move on the outside with unusual grace. He was an instinctive and unconventional blend of madness and genius. But it was the thrill-seeking personality and iron chin beneath it all that made his style work by 1980, when Aaron is 22-0 with 20 knockouts, coming into a fight with puncher Leonidas Esparilla in colorful boxing. In the first round, Frieder was unusually calm and respectful of the puncher, but the rest of the fight was more typical of Frieder. Would battle during his time, no matter how hard you struck Aaron, he would just smile and bury you in boxing gloves. Aaron's work rate was crazy. Every time Esparilla detonated, Pryor grinned and kept going. But in round 10, Aaron showed that he was incredible. I thought he was out in the last round with the referee who didn't want to call it. But I guess it's some of the breaks you have to have in the fight game fighting the referee. Cardio hit Esparilla with everything on the move list to knock him out. This is the barrage that finally put Leonidas out of action with straight right hands and left hooks. Oh, and it's over. The legendary Colombian boxer Antonio Cervantes, who was the 140-pound champion, was up for grabs. Cervantes had been unbeaten for 4 years. Despite 8 championship defenses, but despite his expertise, I doubt he's ever faced anyone who will attack him in the same manner as the opponent is going to. He's going to do so roughly twice as quickly as anyone he's ever seen. We are in the first round and fire comes straight at him as everyone anticipated, even the champion in Cervantes. You will witness a very relaxed fighter no matter what sort of buzzsaw. Aaron ran right to him and began mauling like an attack dog unleashed out of an SUV. Attack fire puts on him, and he's getting that buzzsaw attack right away. Even when he ran straight onto a nasty right hand, Pryor was up and taunting before a 2 count, windmilling the right before cracking the Colombian with a left hook. When the action he took to resumes 8 count, but cannot join that he wasn't hurt at all from Carlos, and he successfully defended it 6 times since fire digging to the body with an efficient point but good right. With hooded eyes and an outstretched glove, Aaron Pryor committed to the fight and registered himself as the Mad King of 140. He was in his opponent's face before the fight even started and leveled him with a left hook in the first round. Brian did exactly what he wanted to do to score a knockdown, but Lennox didn't last for very long. I tell you, you fight at the most insistent pace, and I think Davey Jacobs, who is now with you, should get some credit because he's got you working harder than you ever worked for. Pryor decided to play around. Aside from the more erratic pre-fight antics, Dejuan Johnson earlier quickly and very shortly, and then there's Pryor taking a little swipe at Johnson as Dejuan was out there shadowboxing Johnson, just laughing, and they're having a show here before they've even had the instructions. Pryor came out trying to test his legs by moving and circling until Johnson lands a right hand that would have put down a lesser specimen, and Aaron Pryor, a 20-year-old from Cincinnati, Ohio, played off any punch that Brian Johnson could throw during the Wild War. Now that Pryor unleashes his infamous fury, Johnson is toe-to-toe with him and has already wobbled him with a body punch and another one. As the rounds went on, Aaron proved to be as tenacious as he was resilient. Possibly it would have already finished some other guys by this point if he hadn't instinctively counterpunched, perhaps. Astor is Johnson. He said that one of the top players ultimately defeated Johnson in the 7th round, but he is still very shaky, after another powerful right hand and a second left hook hit from Johnson's winging now that he was utilizing his spurs. Pryor made his next defense against two-time title challenger Miguel Montia. There he goes, Pryor going right at Montias. The experienced vet found himself struggling to cope with Pryor's driven intensity. Montia came with the game plan of simplicity. When I fight next, I want to fight Leonard because I feel like I'm the king of the junior welterweights for what I've already done. Miguel waged a grueling battle, dropping some absolutely devastating bombs, because Montia was determined to put Pryor as much as possible on the back foot. After the 10th round, Pryor promised the crowd from his stool that he would complete the great rounds of Montia. Leading through the ropes and telling the crowd that this was the final round, Aaron Pryor was mistaken. Aaron makes his 6th championship defense against Akio Kamita after the boxing world became attracted by Pryor's wild approach. With names like Arguello Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard on the horizon, the world started to wonder what the previous and the largest names in the sports may look like. It was as predictable and unpredictable as any other fighters before Aaron walked onto a combination hard enough to cause him to flip over, and as usual, he was up and charging before the referee in the subsequent round. Winding up his straight right before leveling Kamita, dropping him again before the second, was up twice more in the 6th to get worse, says he's alright, but this time he's got a long way to go before the referee steps in. Aaron Pryor could no longer be disregarded because he had earned the right to fight the best. Aaron had earned his chance to face Sugar Ray Leonard because he had defeated the top contender in his weight division. Since he had nothing to prove in that fight, any additional queries would be appreciated. He simply needs to defend his title against a low-profile opponent after the bout has been agreed to. Pryor learned about Ray Leonard's detached retina as he was driving away to confront Leonard and promote the boxing battle. Pryor pulled over and sobbed at missing the opportunity to compete against Sugar Ray and his $750 in guaranteed money. Aaron had to seek elsewhere once Leonard partially lost his vision. He is unaware that I won him. In November 12, 1982, this bout took place at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Aaron Pryor, known as the Hawk, was defending his WBA light welterweight title against the legendary Alexis Arguello, who was moving up in weight to challenge for the title. The fight was highly competitive and intense. Pryor and Arguello exchanged heavy blows throughout the match, with both fighters showing incredible determination and skill. In the 14th round, Pryor unleashed a series of devastating punches on Arguello, eventually knocking him out. Pryor won the fight by TKO in the 14th round, retaining his title. This fight is often regarded as one of the greatest boxing matches in history. Following their epic first encounter, Pryor and Arguello had a rematch, which took place at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. This time, Pryor was defending his WBA light welterweight title once again. The second fight didn't disappoint in terms of action and drama. Arguello determined to avenge his earlier loss, but of a strong fight. However, Pryor managed to withstand Arguello's onslaught and returned fire with his relentless pressure and powerful punches. In the 10th round, Pryor landed a devastating right hand on Arguello, causing him to fall to the canvas. The referee stopped the fight, and Pryor retained his title with a TKO victory in the 10th round. So that's all for today. Hope you found this video informative. Consider subscribe to our channel for more engaging videos like this.